everybody, welcome back to another 7 Habits of Highly Effective People video with me, Jason Duncan, and results through integrity. This week we're talking about the idea of scarcity mentality. We're on week 29 in our card deck. We've been going through this card deck all year from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Covey. One of the best, most formative, and most impactful books I've ever read, and I listen to it constantly while I'm driving. I just go back and listen to it again on Audible, and I would encourage you to do the same thing. But this card deck has 52 cards, one activity per week for an entire year. My lovely wife gave me this card deck for Christmas last year, and I thought that it was so good that I would take you, my people that engage with my content on YouTube, Instagram TV, and LinkedIn, I would take you through that this year. So the card this week says, avoid the scarcity mentality. Now, the idea of being scarce is that there's not enough of something. And it is a mentality because sometimes it isn't true that there is in fact enough of something, whatever that thing might be, but scarcity mentality tells us otherwise. On the front of the card this week, the 2 points here says, number 1, list the areas of your life where you have a scarcity mentality. In other words, that there's not enough love, money, attention, resources, etc. to go around. So take a minute, hit pause on the video, and list the areas of your life that you have a scarcity mentality. If you're in sales, it might be, I don't have enough leads. If you're a business owner, I might not have enough revenue. If you're a person who's searching for a relationship, you may say, there's not enough love in the world. List those areas where the scarcity mentality is part of your life. The second point says, consider where this scarcity mentality might come from. For those of us, it goes back to the way we were raised. Maybe our parents or our grandparents, whoever raised us, produced in us a scarcity mentality where we didn't know where the next etc., was coming from. Where is that thing coming from? So the scarcity mentality may come from your childhood. You need to know where that comes from in order to deal with it. Now, the second, on the back of the card, it says to ask yourself this question: where is scarcity thinking getting in the way of achieving my best results? So what is it about your best results that is being prevented by scarcity mentality? It goes on to say, the scarcity mentality causes you to compare, compete, and feel threatened by others instead of working with others for the biggest wins. Well, Covey was really good on this point. The scarcity mentality keeps you from understanding that you're in this for a win-win between you and your relationships or your prospects, the people you're selling to, whatever that might be. Scarcity mentality keeps you in a place where you're competing and where you're comparing and where you feel threatened. And none of those are healthy places to be. Covey's quote this week says, most people are deeply scripted in the scarcity mentality. They see life as having only so much, as though there were only one pie out there. And if someone else gets a big piece of pie, it means less for everybody else. This is referred to as a zero-sum game. In other words, if you get one and there's only one to go around, that means I get 0. Or if you get 2 and there's only 2 to go around, I get 0. In other words, it's a zero-sum game that they can't add up and multiply. Well, the world is much bigger than we give it credit. You know, there are enough customers out there for everybody in your space. You can have competition and be okay in business. But if you have a scarcity mentality, you're going to suffer the consequences. Thank you for following this content. If you like what you're hearing, go back to my YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and follow me on all the content that I produce. Every Monday or Tuesday, I produce a video on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then every Friday, I produce a video on a Friday sales tip. So if you're in sales, you might want to check into that. Also, I invite you to follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Those are the 2 social media platforms that I am engaged with and produce content. On the business side of things, it's all LinkedIn. And if you want more of the personal side of my life and my family and what we like to do, you can follow me on Instagram. Either place, you can follow me at @TheRealJasonDuncan. Thanks for following. And next time, we're going to go over the next tip on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Until then, remember, Jesus is King.